why did I watch this movie? Like, I had the choice of seeing Sicario 2 and I saw Hotel Transylvania 3.
Maybe you'll find your own fireworks on the cruise.
It's not the Love Boat, Frank.
Ahoy there! I am Captain Erica.
You must be the one and only Dracula.
Hotel Transylvania 3, A Monster or a Summer Vacation is directed by Jenny Tartovsky and it stars Adam Sandler and all his friends. Hotel Transylvania 3 is of course like the third Hotel Transylvania movie. Selena Gomez thinks that Adam Sandler, he's like, you know, he's like stressed out from working and running the hotel for over 100 years straight. So she books a cruise, they all go on the cruise, Dracula falls in love with Van Helsing's great-granddaughter. And it's sort of like, you know, she wants to kill him, he wants to fall in love, and sort of like, who's gonna get it? You know, that sort of thing. Hotel Transylvania, plainly put, is pretty bad. It's easily the worst one of the three movies. The second one I thought was really fun, and the first one was pretty heartfelt. What went wrong here is, I don't know, maybe they took away the setting and they used characters for side jokes and gags rather than, you know, and they were actually used as like, you know, part of like a gang that they had in the first two movies. But I'll start off with the best thing about the movie. Some jokes hit. Some. Definitely not all of them. Some of them. Maybe like just under 50%. It's very hit and miss, and some jokes are funny. That's all I'll say. Continuing with some jokes were funny, there was quite a lot that just were not funny at all. And when a joke's not funny a couple times, it sort of brings the mood down a little bit, or people are like confused that the joke came at all. But when you're hitting joke after joke and these jokes are just not landing anywhere, it's not funny and it's kind of boring to watch. Now, one thing that, I don't know if this was my cinema specifically or my screening specifically, but I did notice something when I was watching it. It's that, I don't know if this was the projector or the actual film, but some of the animation had been cut off the top and off the bottom, like it had been cropped to fit the cinema screen. And it looked terrible because you cut off, when you had these big wide shots, you had the little kids, like in the movie, their heads were like cut off. You got like the hair in their eyes and you didn't see their face, you didn't see their body. And then they were like cropped off the top of the screen because it takes off sometimes, you know, Dracula's head or Frankenstein's head. And there's even a title card which is cropped off slightly cropped off the top because of the cropping. Like, it's really brings you out of the movie and going, oh, I'm trying to connect with these characters, but I can't see their faces. So it's sort of terrible. And you could blame that on the cinema screen, but I don't know. I've never had a problem at that cinema before, or in that cinema screen. I saw Upgrade in the very same theatre. Like, I don't know what's up with it. As for the characters, they are terrible. They are pointless. Only 5 of them had character arcs at most, if you call one dramatic change to another a character arc, and he's only there for about 5 minutes, and it's played off as a plot point. And another thing is, I don't like how some other characters were used. I thought Mavis, Johnny, and Dennis, their kid, was used terribly. They weren't used in a funny way at all. Johnny was like a main character in the first movie, and in the second and third movie, he's like not even relevant almost. I understand that the first movie had this real daddy-daughter relationship, but a lot of that came from the boy and like came from Jonathan as well, like forcing them to have that and show that to the audience. Without that, you don't really get an effective relationship as seen in Hotel Transylvania 3. The film also had a ton of pointless scenes that led literally nowhere. There's a 3-minute sequence of the giant dog, you know, sniffing around the cruise ship, and it seems like it might add up to something, but it doesn't. It's like, you don't even need this. It didn't have a joke for the little kids. It was just something that happened that was supposed to build up tension or some sort of interest that led absolutely nowhere. And it was terribly executed as well. And this movie also does possibly one of the worst things I've ever seen a kid's animated film do. Or even like, you know, any animated film. And it's just so out of left field and tone deaf. And it's that it promotes gambling. The characters end up going to this Las Vegas-esque, you know, thing, and Frankenstein has some sort of like joke where he's like, "Oh, I'm a gambler, a gambling addict, and I'll gamble away an arm and a leg." And then there's a joke, you know, they actually show characters gambling, the slot machines, the, you know, roulette. It's just something that doesn't belong in a kids' film, and it's absolutely terrible. Like, it feels like this, you could have gone for any other thing. You could have gone for another destination, you know, a scenic destination, instead of like a gambling resort place, which they're only there for a couple hours supposed to be. I was just utterly appalled by the fact that they would set the entire third act around, you know, some element of gambling involved. And I don't know what they were thinking at Sony making this, but they made a terrible decision, and it's atrocious. Hotel Transylvania 3 is an utterly terrible movie. It's generally unfunny, and it promoted gambling to kids. And that, to me, is just, you know, it's hard to stand to defend a movie and say, yeah, this is good, but it promoted gambling to kids. That's terrible. It's not like putting the odds in front of sport. That's sort of there, you know, as a side thing. You don't have to have gambling in a kids' movie. I will say that Hotel Transylvania 3: A Summer Vacation is wet socks. It's terrible, and promoting gambling is something I can't forgive at all. Have you seen Hotel Transylvania 3? What did you think of it? What's your favourite, you know, Hotel Transylvania movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel Platypus, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Well done, you made it to the end of the video. Why don't you click on one of these two videos for more content, or subscribe, so just be reminded of when I upload. So, you know, subscribe. That'd be great.